Walk into a closed-up space on a still, midsummer afternoon, and the air hits you first. It feels thick and stagnant, stinging your nose with the sharp smell of ammonia. The default modern reaction to this kind of environment involves throwing money at the problem. We blast the air conditioning and plug in expensive air purification machines to force the room back to a breathable state. This creates an economic trap. Beyond the initial $300 purchase price of a premium machine, you are locked into a subscription model, paying for constant electricity and $40 proprietary replacement filters multiple times a year. Out in places like Lancaster County, Amish farmers manage intense summer heat in their barns and coops without touching the electric grid. They rely on a technique that handles both air cooling and air purification at the same time, for about $7. This method requires absolutely zero electricity and uses no branded plastic. It relies entirely on a shallow tray of raw activated charcoal, a cup of water, and a natural cross breeze. Escaping the cycle of constant appliance upgrades requires looking past the marketing to identify the physical material actually doing the work inside those expensive machines. If you conceptually break open a high-end air purification unit and strip away the sleek plastic exterior, the digital display, and the electric fan, you reach the core mechanism, the filter cartridge. That expensive cartridge catches odors and stale air using a single ingredient, activated charcoal. This is the same raw material available in the pet aisle or garden section of any store for just a few dollars a bag. Selection matters here. You need loose, black granules of activated charcoal. Standard barbecue briquettes are pressed together with binders and remain completely useless for cleaning your air. The granules work through a process called adsorption. Activated charcoal operates as a highly complex microscopic sponge. Unfold the internal passages of a handful of this material, and the surface area covers more space than this room. Stuffy air pushes through the tray, forcing foul compounds into this microscopic maze. They bond to the walls, leaving exiting air perfectly clean. A $300 machine merely uses a motor to force air over the exact same $7 material you can place in a window tray. That same tray of charcoal handles the cooling. By soaking the highly porous granules in clean water, you turn the entire setup into a passive evaporative engine. As moving air passes across the wet charcoal, water turns from a liquid state into a vapor. This phase change pulls heat directly out of the incoming breeze. Because the charcoal holds such a massive volume of water within its internal pores, it provides a perfect, sustained surface for this reaction, creating a visible shimmer of evaporation as the breeze hits it. The exact temperature drop depends on your local climate. In dry, western regions, the thirsty air rapidly absorbs moisture off the charcoal, pulling a heavy amount of heat with it for a sharp, noticeable drop in temperature. In a humid environment like the American South, the air is already saturated with water. The evaporation process runs much slower, resulting in a gentle cooling effect of only a couple of degrees. There is one strict safety rule for this setup. You must place the wet charcoal directly in an open window or a vent where fresh air is actively crossing it. Placing a large bed of wet, active charcoal in a small, completely sealed room is dangerous. Without a cross breeze, the mechanics of the absorption process can slowly deplete the oxygen in stagnant air. True off-grid cooling is a careful partnership between the laws of thermodynamics, raw materials, and the natural flow of air through a space. Daily maintenance for this system takes seconds. You simply pour a cup of clean water over the charcoal each morning to keep the evaporative cooling active. After a month or two of pulling odors and ammonia out of the air, the microscopic pores inside the charcoal eventually reach their capacity and fill up. You can completely recharge the material by spreading the granules on a tray and leaving them in the full hot sun for a day. The heat bakes the trapped compounds right out, resetting the charcoal for the rest of the season. This highly effective method remains largely unadvertised by the appliance industry. Corporations cannot build a recurring revenue model around a $7 bag of raw material that requires no electricity to run and recharges for free in the afternoon sun. True household efficiency relies on understanding how raw materials interact with nature. The simple science is often more effective than the most complex machine on the market. By removing the corporate middleman and the plastic housing, you reclaim the resilient knowledge that built agricultural independence. You can cool and clean your air without paying anyone's bill.